Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. This is going to be a video on how we can trade the PM session and utilize the lunch session to build a narrative and an actual trade entry. So we're going to be relying on the same signatures and price that we look for on the 1 minute time frame, on the 15-minute time frame, all the way up to the daily chart. Okay, we look for signatures in price because price is fractal in the same regard on each of those time frames. However, once we break it down to where I execute my trades on the 1 minute time frame, we can get very, very precise and refined entries and trade scenarios before they even occur, things that we need to see get taken out, things that we need to see happen in order to validate an actual entry. So this is NASDAQ's 1 minute chart. And we're seeing right here as my annotations, the high at 1:03 p.m. Eastern time. That is your lunch session high. Okay, lunch session concludes at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, so just kind of as a rule of thumb, if and when I'm utilizing the lunch session high to target and or see one of those sides of the range swept for a reversal to the opposing side, I'm using the lowest low and highest high between 12 p.m. Eastern time and 1:30 p.m. Eastern time for my session high and session low. Now, see we have lunch high here, and then we have these two relative equal highs right here. I'm looking at that as engineered buy side liquidity. And what have we been discussing recently on this channel in the last few videos, but in Discord as well, if you guys have been attending the calls, the live streams. If we are bullish, right, or bearish, I guess, whatever direction we are targeting, we want to see as much engineered liquidity left while the manipulation phase is occurring. And then we work within these macro windows to really refine our entries and want to see that manipulation take place. Okay, so you could say, well, how come we didn't sweep lunch low first? Okay, we need to build a narrative and just be able to read order flow from that. So if we go all the way down here, this low formed at 1237 is your lunch session low. Okay, so if we're looking for a delivery, like we've mentioned, to lunch high, where we have also these engineered buy side liquidity, these engineered relative equal highs, we don't want to see price get all the way down here and purge lunch low. Now, why? If we zoom out even more, lunch low here, we already took out a lot of sell side liquidity, and you can see even here, right? We purged lows here. So shorts are trapped where this low is on another breakout trade. We had been bearish all morning, and then they're trying to play another breakout below old lows. They're trapped, and the algorithm in the market is going to keep those shorts underwater and not give them the opportunity to get out of their positions at even down here. Okay. Also, if we are trying to identify and plan out a trade, a move to a buy side liquidity pool, we want to see a return to discount, and we want to see bullish algorithmic signatures of strength. Now, what are signatures of strength? See how we have these fair value gaps here, right here, okay, right here, right here. Before we see the reversal points that we are going to discuss, right, in that 150 macro window, when the manipulation takes place, after we see the reversal signatures, we want to look back to the left side of the curve since we are bullish again in a discount and say, okay, do we have any breakaway gaps? And if we do see the reversal taking place, while the algorithm has shown you it failed to get down here, that is a signature of strength because it's the algorithm showing you and telling you it does not want to go down there. It's just coming down to a very short-term discount, only to run a low, in other words, to complete manipulation, and then reverse and continue higher after this bounce that did occur right at the start of the lunch session. Okay, so if we delete these, and again, just to keep it clear, but those breakaway gaps and that narrative and those signatures that I just discussed are very important. Okay, so let's zoom back into this chart here. All right, and if this right here I have labeled is our lunch range equilibrium, so that low from 12:37 a.m. or excuse me, 12:37 p.m. Eastern time to lunch high, and we're seeing a retracement. If we're running those two things as our anchors, this is the 50% level, which is just equilibrium or EQ, as you'll see on my charts and other traders' charts as well. Usually, I want to see if I'm looking for a long, if we're coming down and running an old low, is there any reaction, and do we start to see the initial signatures of a reversal upon EQ? Now that in and of itself is a framework, but if you look to the left, see how we also have this equilibrium fair value gap right at equilibrium of the range. So an equilibrium fair value gap is very important to me. So this plays hand in hand with what I discussed in regards to the breakaway gap here. Okay, so I want to see this equilibrium fair value gap support price on a closing basis, and we see that does occur here. I want to see these BISIs remain untouched. And then what do I want to see? The manipulation has taken place, right? Engineer buy side liquidity is left. Okay, we're in the macro window. And where are we in relation to that macro window? We're below macro opening price. So we're seeing macro power of 3, macro KRP, key reference point. If you guys have been following along on this channel for a while, that's kind of an older video. And then after we deliver to equilibrium and this equilibrium fair value gap or a significant inefficiency during a macro, we close above these 2 consecutive down close candles that occur at 1:59 and 2 p.m. Eastern time. Why is that significant, this close? Because this is your change in the state of delivery. But when is it occurring? During the macro. So it's a macro change in the state of delivery. So we're starting to see the initial signatures of a potential reversal back to buy side, back to the lunch high, to this engineered buy side liquidity pool. Okay, so you're always just saying, okay, where do I want to see best case price bounce, right? In this case, it's this fair value gap that's right at equilibrium of the lunch range. So before we even get down here, you can say, wow, it would be sweet if price came down and wicked away from this. But then what would I need to see as a step 2? Right? You're just asking yourself, what needs to occur next? Now next, now next. And you continue to build that narrative and ask yourself those questions until the target is met. So we close above these candles. That's a great step. We see this BISI overlapping as well, right? It's the same logic, order blocks, BISI overlapping. And then we start to see us expand higher again. And then these 2 consecutive down close candles that were used to go lower and complete the manipulation, delivering to this equilibrium fair value gap and this lunch range equilibrium level. After that manipulation has taken place, we're going to close back above that and see how we utilize this SIBI and these consecutive SIBIs right here to push us down once more to deliver to that equilibrium fair value gap. Even though it was a quick move and this is the small fractal price in a 1-minute chart, that is still its initial state of delivery. So once we close back above it right here, okay, and that was a terrible drawing. Once we close back above it right here, that is the change in the state of delivery at 2:14 p.m. Eastern time. And we should expect that to support price to deliver us to our engineered buy side liquidity internal targets. And then our session high, which again is the lunch session high. Okay. Also note little intricate things like this. See this BISI that's nested after we close above the SIBI, and it classifies as a high probability bullish inversion. After we close above that, see how we have that SIBI that's nested right at the top of that? We want to see that support price. That should be a high probability BISI. And then we continue forward. Again, we're climbing the ladder. This order block here, right? Where is that nested? Within the BISI, within the top of that high probability inversion. So we want to see that support price as well. And after we see this delivery and we go above, just to kind of put the cherry on top, right? We want to see us close above that here. And once that occurs, you want to see speed. You don't want to see us come back into this, because all these little algorithmic signatures that we see as we climb the ladder, you want to see those hold. In other words, you don't want to see price go back down there for your efficient delivery to your lunch high target. So kind of a quick video, but again, we're relying on similar concepts that we utilize every day. Time, the macro, price signatures, change in the state of delivery, right? Macro power of 3, manipulation, engineer buy side liquidity, and then we understand how we can read price the same way that we do every day. So if you guys like this video, make sure to subscribe, comment, like. If you have any questions, let me know in here or ping me in Discord. If you guys saw the end of my previous video, I am beginning a 15-week mentorship that is beginning September 9th. I'm very, very excited for that. The sign up link is in the description of this video and in the description of my bio. We will do live streams 7 days a week. I'll release a more structured schedule in terms of what content and what you guys will learn, but it's my entire trading repertoire, not only technicals, but risk management, trading psychology, my journey in and of itself, trading performance, how to track data, everything. Okay, so once you book your spot in the mentorship, that payment, you're also getting lifetime access to RTO at a discounted price. So be sure to take advantage of that. It's a limited offer. So just so you guys are aware of that, just wanted to mention it. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll talk with everyone soon.